Hi gang, my name is Nick. I have another video sponsored by Boulevard Wheats. Thanks to the Vikings punter who punted once during this last week's game from like opposite 45 and somehow didn't end up dropping it in the 20. So I'll be casually drinking this beer throughout this video in memory of him. Obviously I lost this week. And then on top of that, I think I was voted as the most fraudulent team in the playoffs. Not mad about it. Didn't have a great showing. I'll provide an argument why I don't necessarily think most fraudulent team is maybe the best way to describe it. I think I've got some fraudulent players, but team's a little harsh. I'm just coming from Christmas Eve dinner. Had a variety of things, including fish and sauerkraut and mushrooms and eggnog, and this beer doesn't go well with any of those. So it's gonna be laborious. Anyways, Josh Allen, not fraudulent. I mean, he's still the QB1, but he got hurt. No touchdowns. Getting 4 points out of the guy hurts. No easy way to put that. Lamar's been fraudulent. Looking back at what I traded for him, I gave up Pickens and Debo. Debo's like a wide receiver 3 at this point. Pickens, in a vacuum, giving up Pickens for who should be a QB1 and really a high-end QB1 at that isn't a bad trade. But Lamar has been borderline unplayable. So if you want to target somebody for being fraudulent, let's look at Lamar Jackson. Josh Jacobs. So again, not fraudulent. Bad performance this week. Fumbled on the goal line again. Dealing with injuries, yada yada. I mean, he's been consistent all year. I can't fault him. He puts up 15 to 20 a week. He does what he's supposed to do. And this week just didn't go well. If he scores on the goal line and doesn't fumble, we're having a completely different conversation. Again, I don't think he's fraudulent just because he had one bad injury-riddled week. But not what you want when you're in the playoffs. Breece Hall, fraudulent. Well, I don't know. You can make the argument either way. He's a boomer bust kind of guy that I think when he had a decent quarterback was a little more tolerable. But now that they don't have a good quarterback, they stack the box, and Breece doesn't have any room. So I think there's arguments both ways, whether or not he's fraudulent. All of his quarterbacks getting hurt really didn't help, but he's not done anything good for me. So I could see the argument either way there. Wideouts played good. Each of them had 15 plus. Tight end, I threw a flyer at Colby Parkinson. He didn't do much, so I didn't have any high expectations for him, but he underperformed. Defense, special teams, kicker did well. Punter, obviously, talked about a little bit earlier. Not great.
Looking at the other matchup,
Owen beat Jesse. Didn't expect that to happen, but this late in the playoffs, anything can happen. Mikey's the favorite going into this week. Should fairly easily, well, I want to say should fairly easily win, but it's playoffs. You don't know what's going to happen. I think I'm an underdog against Jesse this week. We'll see if my quarterbacks come to play. If they come to play, I have a chance. If not, it is what it is. Elsewhere around the league, Harrison won it all on the back end. It's a tough look. Draft orders getting set up where I'm picking in that 7-8 range. There should be some decent players available with another good player on the turn, so can't complain. What I got? What else do I got? I got a beer to chug. I think next week when I do this presser, talk a little bit more about my philosophy in terms of team building and why it didn't necessarily work out this year. Probably going to affect how I draft next year and the trades I make and whatnot. So that'll be important. In terms of real football stuff, Birds won the East, 2 or 3 seed. If we can dodge the Rams in the first round, that'd be nice. If not, it is what it is. Ooh, that's a good one. Hometown Chiefs. 2 quarterbacks with ACL tears, not great. Moving to Kansas. Seen some good and some bad reactions to that one. Should be good, unless you're a Missouri resident counting on them for some reason. But then at that point, you voted to get them out, so don't know what to tell you. This is perhaps one of the worst tasting beers I've had in quite some time. Oh. Let me tell you, it's not going to sit well at 4:30 when I wake up tomorrow morning. All right, boys. I'll see you next week.